I saw a few pumpkins out today. You know, on people's doorsteps. They were so brilliant. Lex, I know you don't fancy Halloween, but couldn't we carve a few pumpkins this year?
Well, Rayna, you know I hate Halloween. I don't even want to talk about it. Not since a few years ago. I don't even want to get into it.
What in the world happened a few years ago?
I don't even want to go into it. I hate Halloween. It's just like it's like a black hole in my mind. I don't even want to think about it.
What was it? Your mum dressed you up in a sour bunny costume or something?
I wish it was that simple. This is the stuff nightmares are made of.
Vex, we've been married for a couple years now. You know I'll listen. All right, let me go get you a cup of apple cider. And then, please, won't you tell me that story? All right?
All right. But you won't believe me. It all started 5 years ago, 1 week from today. I was out getting prepared for Halloween, as most people do. Of course, Halloween back then was pleasant, reminded me like my childhood. Kids were getting candy, pumpkins were out, costumes were big. Of course, I had some great costume ideas. Of course, it was every kid's favorite holiday. Kids get a scarf down, a stomach load of candy until their stomachs explode and their teeth rot. Things changed. There was a strange eeriness in the air. I happened upon a news article earlier that morning. It talked about the area that I was living. And in this area, there was an old cemetery that was right below the hill. But then someone back east came, and they said that those graves aren't going to last because right below the hill, water flows down in the mountains and rots the graves. You're going to need to exhume the bodies and move them to its better ground. The cemetery at that point had been around for at least 70 years. Most of the graves weren't marked, so the pioneers moved the bodies. They did the best they could. It was so long between the time of the old one and the time they exhumed them, they left several of the bodies, that they were 14 bodies short of the official record. They weren't ever able to find them.
So what happened to them?
Well, of course, they just stayed there. With the water rising, this was no place for them to rest in peace. Restless spirits have a tendency to wander back into this earthly realm.
Whatever. That's totally bizarre. Ghosts don't wander back.
That's what I used to believe. But then the neighborhood just kept getting quieter and quieter. Yeah, as the week progressed, it got stranger and stranger, and I just felt weirder and weirder. No longer did I hear people mowing their lawns or kids playing outside. Soon, I didn't even hear birds chirping. I knew then that whatever was making people run was coming after me. It was the night before Halloween, and at this point, I ate all the candy out of nervousness. I was expecting a few kids, but I didn't hear anything. It became dusk. Soon, I wasn't paying any attention. Some rustling outside startled me. Then I got very nervous. The wind was howling, and I heard the trees scraping against the house. I saw strange lights coming through the windows. Trembling, I went out to look out the front windows to see what it was. To the south, and I saw nothing. I looked to the west, and didn't see anything there. I looked towards the east, still nothing. Then I looked towards the front door. Caught a glimpse of an animated skeleton. Its glowing eyes caught mine. I heard the door starting to rattle, so I made a dash for it. I ran and I went and I tried to hide. I started looking around. I looked into the closets. I went to try to hide in the bathroom, but the door went locked. I quickly made a break for the bedroom. Looking around, I saw the closet was open. And I brushed aside the clothes and tried to hide in the corner. There I crouched in fear. Sweat pouring from my face. I got more and more scared as the footsteps became closer and closer. I saw a bony limb protruding from the door of the closet. Just about the time I was toast, I heard a noise coming out from outside, and the apparition just left.
Holy Halloween. What did you do?
I knew they were going to come back because it was Halloween the next day. Spirits run freely on Halloween. The void between the living and the dead grows thin on that day because of the dark rituals of the pagans in the past. I decided that the only thing I could do was to fight back. I studied up on some ancient lore. The best thing that I found to destroy skeletons is fire and stone, to burn and break the bones. So I gathered up everything I had in the house. I began constructing various devices, electronic bombs and traps. My idea was to have them timed at just the right moment.
So how did you get the skeletons to go where the bombs were?
After I finished building the devices, I placed them in strategic locations around the entranceways and places I knew the skeletons would try to break in. I also made in the devices ways to create sounds and lights to attract in the skeletons. I tried to set myself up in a strategic location where I could view the skeletons and be able to set off the various bombs and other devices.
You just get out of there like some of the other people did.
I would have liked to, but I noticed my vehicle was out of fuel. Of course, I was on college student wages and I couldn't afford to fill it up. By the time I got everything set up, it was dusk. I had to get into position. Sure enough, the skeletons were back. This time, they were back with a vengeance. I managed to set off a few of the bombs and catch a couple of the skeletons in them. Some of them misfired, and as the night ran on, I was running out of ammo. They were pushing back into the house where I was stationed. Then came a ray of light over the horizon, and I knew I was safe. I had survived the night. As the blackness faded into light, the skeletons departed. I surveyed the damage in the morning. I discovered that I destroyed 6 of the 14 skeletons. Ever since then, I knew that they would be back to finish the job that they started that Halloween night.
Did they come back the next year? Weren't you good and ready for them?
I was scared that they would be back, as I've been scared even to this day. But they never returned. But always in the back of my mind, I knew they would return. But this year, I dug up that old article and found that the year they came marked the 100-year since their death. This year marks the year that they exhumed the other bodies out of the old cemetery. I've been thinking about it over the past 5 years, that the reason these spirits are restless is probably because they've been separated from their family and friends. I believe that in order to stop the skeletons for good, it would be necessary to dig up the remains and give them a proper burial.
So why don't we do that?
Because I'm scared out of my mind, that's why. Because I know to get to the place where they are, you have to go directly to the source where all the skeletons have been appearing. Let me remind you, today happens to be Halloween. By telling you this story, you might have noticed it's now evening time. It's time for the skeletons to reappear.
We've got to hurry then.
Rayna, you don't understand. You weren't there 5 years ago. This isn't just kids dressed up. It's scarier than anything you could ever imagine. They aren't just out for tricks or treats. They want our bodies so they can come back to life.
But you can't let fear run your life or hold you back from living. Vex, now's the time to face your fears. You're the only one who knows how to stop all this madness and finally give those old souls some peace and rest. Let's go forward. Let's do this. Let's make this a Halloween we'll never forget.
All right. This is what we got to do.
How much further we got to go, Vex? I'm scared.
Just a little bit further. This is the spot, right here.
Vex, they're coming.
I think I got it. Leg it!
Happy Halloween, Vex.
How about we go carve some pumpkins?
Step back through the door of time. Don't be alarmed at what you might. Dismembered by humanity. Blinded by society. Follow a fearless leader, pay the price for his sins, fight for his cause. You're a prisoner again. Society, humanity.